Hey everyone, welcome to my first devlog for Interesting Chat. Some of you may know me from the shorts I make on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok, but if you don't, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Jackson. I'm a freelance software engineer focusing on decentralized web technologies. Specifically, I know a lot about Solid, which is a decentralized web platform pioneered by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the original World Wide Web. But when I'm not freelancing, I like to work on side projects. For those of you who know me, welcome back. This devlog series is going to be a bit different than my regular content. It's going to be more relaxed because I don't need to jam a bunch of information into a 1-minute video, and it's going to focus on one side project rather than the ecosystem as a whole. So I hope you like it. Anyway, what is Interesting Chat? About a month ago, I was looking for new industries to familiarize myself with. I wanted to find something that would help reduce the world's carbon emissions, and I remembered seeing a bunch of video essays on mass timber. But watching a few video essays doesn't allow you to truly know an industry. You can really only know an industry through talking with the people in it. And there's a big barrier to entry there if you have no connections at all. I signed up for a few meetups on mass timber, but I don't know, maybe it was just my short attention span and I just wanted more instant gratification than waiting a week for a meetup. I started thinking, is there a more immediate way to meet people who have a specific interest? Places where people gather to discuss a topic like Meetup or Clubhouse are sometimes daunting. If there are a bunch of people in a room, it feels like I'm intruding on something if I ask questions. It would be awesome if I could have a one-on-one environment. There are certainly sites where you can instantly meet new people like Chat Roulette or Omegle, but something about them makes me feel like they're not a great tool for meeting people who have interests in specific things. If I were to build an app to solve this problem, it would match you up with strangers for a one-on-one chat. Subjects of interest would be at the center of the user experience. And I think I'd want it to be audio only. At least that would encourage a certain level of decorum. So, with the general features thought out, I started to build. I was already familiar with React Native from some previous projects, so I initialized a project. All features I would need were relatively straightforward. The only one I've never done before is live audio over the web. Fortunately, WebRTC exists. It's an open standard that allows two devices to send data, including audio data, to one another directly. After fiddling around with a React Native implementation of WebRTC and watching a very helpful tutorial by Hussein Nassar, I had a functioning demo of WebRTC. The next step was to build the UI. I got distracted a little bit learning animations for React Native and even set up a little utility hook for animating a bit more easily, and that led to these animated interest pills that slide out whenever you select an interest. After completing the UI, it was time to make the app function. I wrote a server that uses WebSockets to match you with people who have the same interests, then sets up a WebRTC connection. Finally, I needed a repository of interest to select from. I was inspired by a Solid app I recently reviewed where you could create tags that are matched with an item in Wikidata. For those who don't know, Wikidata is one of the largest linked data repositories in the world. You can link to this data from anywhere and be a part of a global decentralized knowledge graph. By using Wikidata in my application, I'll eventually be able to use linked data features, but for now, it's a good way just to get millions of interests in the app. It does mean that you do get some results like would Wikimedia disambiguation page, but hey, if that's what you want to have a one-on-one conversation about, then more power to you. So, with a minimum viable product done, I started the arduous process of deploying it and getting it on the app and Play stores. It went smoothly for the most part, but I got a little bit lazy towards the end and just slapped an emoji as my app logo. Turns out Apple doesn't like that, so I made my own emoji in PowerPoint. And with that, I was done. The MVP was built and released. It's probably obvious that even if everything is built and released, Interesting Chat isn't really that useful unless people are, well, using it. I've built a fair few apps before, but actually launching them and getting users is relatively new to me. I've either built apps for companies where someone else was handling the business side, or I've built apps that haven't been able to reach a wide audience. Long-term viewers of this channel remember Liquid Chat, my solid-based chat client. It was a lot of fun to build, but it limited itself in its ability to take off. It didn't have any features that differentiated it from regular chat apps other than the fact that your chat data gets stored on a solid pod. That's great for people in the Solid community, but beyond that, it's very limiting. I think Interesting Chat is different. It's easy to pick up and offers features that, while similar to other apps, gives a unique enough experience for users. It should be much easier to grow the user base of Interesting Chat. That journey is one of the major things I want to document in these devlogs, or we could call them growth logs? Maybe just devlogs for now. So I got to work on spreading the word. I was invited to give a last-minute talk at a Solid World webinar, and while Interesting Chat isn't exactly Solid related, I was able to talk about using linked data to source interests. I didn't expect many users to come from the webinar, and turns out I was right, but it's always fun to present at Solid World, and morale is simply a joy. My primary launch strategy was to post on platforms like Product Hunt. It's important to launch everywhere at once. That way, everyone will come to the site at the same time and there will be more people to chat with. Even with my limited knowledge on launching a product, I knew that tracking metrics was very important. So I set up a simple Mixpanel dashboard that tracks the number of active users, the number of chats, the amount of time people are spending in chats and in the app, as well as the popularity of each interest. Then I started building promotional material for launch, like a little video demo for Product Hunt, and a video telling anyone who follows me on my various socials to come to my launch at September 18th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The day came to launch, and to say the least, it didn't go well. I joined Interesting Chat at 9 a.m. so that anyone joining would have someone to talk to, but after 2 hours of waiting around, not a single person, other than my girlfriend, joined the chat, and the only upvotes on Product Hunt were, again, from myself and my girlfriend. The goal to get a sizable group in chat by advertising to a specific launch time had failed. But this is just the beginning. I'm learning how to launch a product, and this is just the start of the journey. Even though no one came to this launch, I eventually did get a bit of positive feedback on Product Hunt. Robin commented, "Nobody online, but I don't care. That's a cool product. Keep it going. +1." And that's exactly what I'll do. There's plenty more I can do, so join me for the next devlog where I'll use new strategies to build the user base. Thanks for watching.